operation. As far as the cattle, we'll just do cattle right now as far as slides real quick. We did see a lot of action here today, both fats and feeders. As far as reports out, you're not going to find a nice rosy report explaining today's action. We put out estimates here for cattle and feed, and for the month of January, we're showing a 6% increase in placements. And if it weren't for the weather, we might be a little higher, anywhere from 9 to 11% higher. So as far as placements, we're going to actually add a few more tonnage to the early summer, or to that summer time frame here. What I think caused this market run here today was this one here. I want to point out, here's the chart of feeder prices. This is for Oklahoma City, the one that's most closely watched. They did not have a sale going through the last week and a half or so due to the weather, due to all those storms. I think that with a lot of these areas clearing up, that they're suddenly finding a deluge of feeder cattle showing up with a lot of buyers waiting for all those cattle. So bottom line, my guess right now is that we saw quite a bit of excitement based on feeder cattle right now. As far as the last thing on the cattle here I want to speak of, Choice Select Spread. So Choice is a higher grading, higher fat in the muscle beef. Select is a lower amount of fat in the beef. And the Choice is generally what's served up for the steaks in the restaurants, and Select being basic is just the grocery store type of beef, being kind of basic here. As far as the spread, this is a very narrow spread here. Usually we're at here at about $4 is what that premium is usually in for the Choice grading meat. One thing I want to point out here is this is both the supply and demand reason of why this is so tight right now. On the demand end, we didn't have restaurants open in many areas of the country in the past week and a half. Or I should say some consumers didn't want to make out to those restaurants. Both in the Northeast and, of course, we had our problems here in Chicago. So that's one issue hurting restaurant demand was weather. Second thing to speak of is simply supply. A lot of these cattle in the feedlots are weighing in 10 pounds heavier, 15 pounds on a carcass basis, heavier than last year. These producers are holding on to those cattle in the feedlots because they are bullish right now. If the longer a cattle stays in there, the more fat content goes in the muscle, and therefore more higher grading Choice meat here. So both those issues kind of explaining this spread. As this thing shows here, seasonally we're going to start to increase. So we're not going to panic too much yet because this is probably the low. Maybe next week will be the low, and then we're going to start to increase from here. As far as the hogs, I don't have a slide here for the hogs, just to save time. One thing we're looking at here as far as the hogs go, we're still looking for a steady to slightly higher trade for right now.